Legs, you watch the game, what to take away from it?
Well, obviously they cruised a little bit, and there's no question about it. It's Angola. What are you going to do? They came out, they pressured early. Angola made some shots. They're obviously much more athletic than China was, and I think the USA, for the most part in the first half, competed defensively. But once the lead got up to over 20 points, I thought they cruised a little bit in the second half, and you know there's going to be at least one game in this tournament where they do that. This was the game. The competition is going to pick up a lot from this point on, so I think Mike Krzyzewski understands what was going on mentally today for Team USA.
And Mike Krzyzewski had talked about taking every opponent seriously in and of itself, but here come three that they really should be taking: Spain and Greece and Germany. How does this set up for the U.S.?
It's totally different teams now you're talking about. You're talking about teams now they're going to be facing from this point on in the pool play that all have big front lines. They're all teams that have NBA players on their rosters. They've also got much better ball handlers and decision makers at the point, so the pressure shouldn't be as big of a factor. I think you're going to see them come out, though, really play the kind of defense that you saw them play in the first quarter and a half against China. They're going to come out with the pressure ball all over the floor. But the difference between these three teams and what China was able to do against them in Angola, they have guys on their rosters that they can go down the low post up, and will score on you one-on-one if you don't bring double teams. It's something U.S. has not had to do so far in this tournament. Even with Yao Ming, Dwight Howard played him straight up. Well, these teams have guys that can go down there and do some work in the post. You're going to have to double. Now you leave their three-point shooters open. They're just much more complete basketball teams moving forward as before we get to the medal round.
You mentioned it today. Again, a bit of a layup, getting everybody involved, every American player getting at least 11 minutes of run. Who, though, singularly has been impressive to you?
LeBron James, to me, is amazing. When you talk about the team that he's on, a number of all-star players, MVP-type guys on this roster, LeBron James has stood out. He is by far the best player in the world right now. This guy, the way he moves on the court, his power, his ability to find guys, shoot the basketball, he has just stood out to me from an energy standpoint as well. Dwayne Wade has been unbelievably impressive as well. Last year he really struggled, did not look like the same guy that was a finals MVP, struggled with his health, did not really compete defensively. Dwayne Wade's been all over the court. And, listen, when you're going to play about 20 minutes a game and you've got superstars coming in off the bench to spell you, there's no reason why you can't get out and pressure the ball all over the court. That's what Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant's been sensational. Defensively, has struggled with his shot, but those three guys really defensively have set the tone for this team.
Again, we have a small sample size in Beijing, but looking at the tune-ups and now Olympic play, who perhaps has been not so impressive?
Well, you know what? It's really difficult to say. Honestly, Carlos Boozer hasn't gotten a lot of run, obviously. Michael Redd played well against China, didn't really shoot the ball well against Angola. It's difficult to single a guy out. I mean, Jason Kidd hasn't really looked to shoot the basketball.
Collectively, though, the three-point shooting has to concern them now with these teams on the docket.
There's no question. You're going to have to make shots against these teams coming up, particularly Spain. I think that's the team that, to me, poses the greatest threat to the USA in terms of maybe having a loss in the pool. They're not going to lose a game, but they will give them a game. They're going to be in a couple of close games before they get to the medal round. Spain probably has the best shot. They've got 3 NBA players on their roster. They've got big, a point guard, and a wing. All of those guys can play. There's no doubt Team USA is going to have to make some shots against these teams. Right now, they aren't getting contested threes. They're wide open. I think maybe their concentration level isn't there. If they play in a closer game and they're in the middle of the third quarter in a 4 to 6 point game, I think you'll see these guys start to hone a little bit more and make shots. They've got enough perimeter shooting on this team, and there's no doubt about that. But right now, they haven't had to do that. They get to the basket so easily in the first 2 games. You haven't seen the concentration level at the three-point line. That will have to be there as they move forward.